Okay, we are recording. This will hopefully be a short video where I give some basic advice on how to do this lab. Lucky for me, I had a student volunteer to help with this recording, so that way after I give the information, I can make sure it is understood. So thank you for your help. And let's pull the lab up. Here it is. One thing I will say too before we get started, obviously my courses change a lot. Every semester they at least change a little bit. So if you're watching this video at a later semester, keep in mind that the lab might look different by the time you get around to doing it. So, this video should help, but again, there might be some things that are slightly different. So, do you have any questions before we get started?
No.
Okay. So, this is basically all about trash. And these first questions, as usual, are hypothesis questions. So basically, let's take a look at this one. I'm not going to read every one of them, but let's at least look at the first one. Regarding trash that was produced overall in 2018, which is the most recent data that'll be on the website that you'll use later, put the following in order from most to least by weight. To be clear, the first one you list will be the type of trash that was produced the most. The last one you list will be the type of trash that was produced the least. Fix that. Put them in order in the text box or number the words where they are. So for this one, you're just trying to guess. And I'm not going to hold you to this, but really quickly, out of all these, which one do you think was produced the most, if you had to guess?
Paper and cardboard.
All right. So you could either write paper and cardboard here, or you could even copy and paste it, right? So that would be the most, right? So most to least. So first you would write that, right?
Okay.
And then comma, and then write the next one that you want to do. Or, like it says here, you could also just number it if you want. So paper and cardboard you think is the most, right? So you put a number 1 there. Maybe you think plastics is next, so you put a 2 there. Maybe you think textile, so on and so forth. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, good. Whoops. So that being said, I don't need to discuss the rest of them because it's the same kind of thing. You read it, you choose which one you think is the most all the way to the the least. And then once you're done with all your hypotheses, as usual, then you'll go on to test your hypothesis. And to do that, just click this website. This is in order. This is all the information that you're looking for. And again, I don't want to make a really long video, so I'm not going to show every single step on how to do that. But the information you need, again, is if you click on this website, it can show you, it'll give you the information you need. Also, I have made a previous video, so that can also help you a little bit with deciphering this specific part of the lab. So again, if you need help with how to do this website and how to use it to answer your questions, then that's the video for you. I will point this out. So a lot of people so far have already turned in this lab, and I can tell you some common mistakes. So here, this is right. So now you're testing your hypothesis, right? So we're going to see, was your hypothesis correct? What was the total generation of MSW produced from most to least by weight? So basically, you're doing the same thing you did in your hypothesis questions, right? You're just going to list them, except instead of listing what your hypothesis is, you're going to list what the actual data is. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so again, it might say something like plastics, and then textiles, and then glass, so on and so forth. But so far this week, quite a few people, they gave me the total generation of MSW, but which you don't need to do. What they need to do is this: list it from most to least, just like you did in your hypothesis. So that does make sense to you, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, same thing. Just make sure you do that with all these questions. Again, it's the same thing. You're just testing your hypothesis. So any questions about the testing your hypothesis portion?
No.
All right, really quickly. This one's really easy. So here, you just click the link. It's gonna tell you 10 ways to unpackage your life. Just list them all. In this case, this is one of those situations where a copy and a paste will suffice. Then, take a look at that list of 10 things and tell me what you already do. And again, that should be pretty self-explanatory once you pull it up. Here's one of the parts that's a little bit slightly more difficult. So again, list 10 ways to unpackage your life. list the ways that you're already doing, and then come up with another way. What's another way to unpackage your life? And I want to reiterate something really quickly. Where is it at here? Oh yeah. In other words, sorry. Yeah, here we go. Keep in mind that this is about reducing the amount of trash you produce to begin with. So, for example, reusing and recycling is something that you should do, and you really should, but it doesn't count for this question, right? That doesn't include unpackaging your life. In other words, out of reduce, reuse, and recycle, we are focusing on reducing. So, for example, some people will give an answer like, all right, one way you can help reduce, unpackage your life is to recycle your cans. And recycling is a great thing, and you should recycle your cans, but that's not reducing, that's not reducing the amount of trash you accumulate to begin with. Whether you're throwing it away or recycling it or burning it, it doesn't matter. The idea here is to reduce the amount of trash that you accumulate. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The rest of it's also really straightforward. Some more hypothesis questions. What are some environmental benefits of recycling? Just make some guesses. You need at least 4 guesses. You can do more. How many jobs do you think were created? Somewhere between 500,000 and a million, whatever. Just pick a number, put it down there. You don't even need to explain why you pick that number. What are some common products made with recycled contents? Again, just make a list of things that you think are made from recycled content, at least 14 of them. You can do more. That's that. Pretty self-explanatory. And then you just go on to use this website to see if your hypotheses are correct. So that website will tell you what are the 4 environmental benefits of recycling. That website will tell you how many jobs were created from recycling. That website will tell you what are the 3 steps to recycling. That website's going to tell you 14 common products made from recycling. And then this part, let me emphasize this too. Some people mess this up. Where do you live, and do you have curbside recycling there? So you don't have to get specific. You don't have to give me your exact address, but you could say, like for me, I live in Scott Depot, and we do not have curbside recycling. And then it says, if not, where is your closest recycling? So I would look it up. I'm like, okay, recycling near me, right? And then there we go. And then I could just take a screenshot of this and send that in. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Not send it in, excuse me. Take a screenshot of it and then insert it into the lab. Speaking of labs, there we go. And that's it. Pretty self-explanatory. Just make sure you include a screenshot as proof. So any questions about that section?
No.
Okay, pretty straightforward. This is also very straightforward. This is Lab 8, so by now everybody should know about this. You need to sign it. You need to save it as a PDF before you upload it. You need to make sure you do it on time. And then, of course, just the regular old extra credit stuff. So you can this is the one of the few labs that doesn't ask you to make a graph. So you can, if you want, for extra credit. And then just the other regular extra credit questions that I won't waste your time discussing. So do you have any questions about Lab 8? Is there anything that you think I should cover again or differently?
No.
Perfect.
You cleared up a lot for me.
Great. Well, thank you for letting me record that. That will hopefully help future students.
Are you there?
Yep. All right. So I guess I'll stop recording right now.